Okay, now in this particular video we're going to continue with how to publish your article on WiseScholar.com. This is the second of 3 particular videos about publishing your article. And in this particular video we're going to specifically talk about formatting the text in the article as well as creating no-follow links. And I'll explain what that means and how to do it. So log in if you haven't already. Put your username and password in. And again, you're at this page. You want to search for your article that you've already put in there and saved. You can do it one of 2 ways. You can just click the search button, which will show you a list of articles that were written in chronological order. Okay? Or you can put in a keyword. Now I'm looking for an article that I wrote that has a keyword in it, mysterious. So I could use that. Search it. There's 2 articles in WiseScholar with the word mysterious, but this particular one is mine. The mysterious ancient language and why graphic designers are still using it today. Okay, and here is the basic article, saved in about the same way that it was at the end of the last video. Now as you can see here, we've got a couple of subheadlines. Okay, subheadline here and subheadline here. And what I want to do is I want to emphasize them so that they look a little stronger or more bold versus what exists right now on this particular article. Okay? Obviously that feed image is weird, and anybody that would wear that t-shirt would probably rank 10 on the geek scale. But I'm not too worried about the feed image at this point. We'll go back here and I'll show you how to basically increase emphasis on the subheadline. So I would take this and notice that if I use heading 3, which I think looks the best, heading 1 and heading 2 are a little large, a little too much. But if I were to click heading 3, the whole paragraph gets increased in emphasis. So I've found that what I need to do is I need to create a space between, then click heading 3 to both of my subheadlines, and then backspace the paragraph. Otherwise there's a little bit too much space in between the subheadline and the paragraph if you don't do that. So I'll save it and then come over here to the actual article, refresh the page, and as you can see the subheadlines get capitalized, but it helps emphasize the subheadlines and breaks up the article a little bit. Okay? The default font setting here is called paragraph, and I would leave it just the way it is. Personally, I don't like adding bold to certain words. Some people like to bold certain words to emphasize certain words in the article. I don't think that looks good. I think you should just leave it alone and emphasize the subheadlines with the heading 3 setting. Now we're going to talk about adding a link. It's good to add links in your article. I would say I would have a goal of, say, creating 2 links in each article that you write. So for instance, there's a little part in this first paragraph that talks about letraset sheets. I don't really know what those are, but if I were to, for the sake of the reader, if I were to find, let's say, a Wikipedia page or some other information about the letraset pages, I could take that URL and have that letraset sheets be a link. So I would select that, click on the link button, insert edit link, paste the URL in the link URL box, and also on the target be sure that you click open in new window. What we don't want is the reader to leave the WiseScholar website because oftentimes they won't go back. So you want to make sure that that link opens up a new window for them to get more information on the Letraset sheets, and then hit Insert. And as you can see now, the Letraset sheets is now a link. Let's go over here and test it. Oops, sorry, got to save it first. Go test it by refreshing the page, and as you can see here in the article, Letraset sheets, sure enough, is a link. As I open it, it opens it up in a new tab. Okay, we want to create no-follow links, and basically, long story short, is Google wants us to create no-follow links in this particular case. So we're going to do it. Let's say I want to add one more link really quick before we do that. The Extremes of Good and Evil is the book that Cicero wrote about the lorem ipsum, or with the lorem ipsum text or language. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to find a web page that discusses it in more depth. Copy the URL. Go back here. Click the Insert Edit Link button. Paste that URL in the link URL box. In the target box, I'm going to pull down Open in New Window and hit Insert. And save. Now here's how to create no-follow links. First of all, the no-follow code looks like this. Rel equals quote no follow end quote, and there's no spaces in there. So be sure to type this code somewhere on your computer and then save it so that you can go back and copy and paste it into your articles. Rel equals quote no follow quote with no spaces. Okay, so I'm going to select that and copy it. Now I'm going to go add it into this article, and I'm going to show you how. Click on the HTML button of your article, and it's going to open up a box that shows you the raw HTML code of the article. Okay, then I'm going to look for the ahref link or code, and as you can see here, here's what it looks like. Even though you don't have to space it, I'm going to just to separate it from the rest so you can see what it looks like. It has a greater than, less than bracket at the beginning and the end, and it has an ahref equals the URL of that particular link, and then it says target underscore blank. So what you want to do is right at the end of the URL quote, right here, and before the word target, you want to paste the no follow. Simple as that. Okay, then we're going to go down here and do it to the other link that we did on Cicero's book. Here it is right here. As you can see, here is the code for that. It starts and ends with greater than signs and less than signs, and at the end of the URL quote and before target, you paste the no follow code. Hit update, save, and then go back and test it and make sure you did it correctly. So I'm going to refresh the article link or the article page that I have. Click on this one, make sure it works. Good, it works. Then go down here and click on this one and make sure it works. Okay, perfect. Now if you'll notice, now that you've saved it, if you go back into the HTML code, those spaces that I added have disappeared and it went back to its normal format. It's just important that you added your no follow code in the right place. Okay, this concludes video number 2 on how to format your text and add links. The next video that we'll be doing is about adding images and video to your article as well.